My girlfriend said I wasn't successful enough to deserve a spot on her Instagram after 2 years together. I agreed and left. 6 months later, her influencer friend tagged me in a post about my new business. And yeah, she saw it. It started with her saying the words that cracked something in me I didn't even know could break. "You're just not aesthetic enough to post," she said. We were sitting in her apartment in downtown Nashville, exposed brick, golden lighting, the kind of place that looked like it was built for social media more than for living. She was on the couch editing a photo on her MacBook, ring light glowing beside her. I was halfway through a slice of cold pizza, watching her scroll through filters like she was performing surgery. "Sorry, what?" I asked, thinking maybe I misheard. Addison didn't even look up. "I mean, you're great, Ethan. But my page has a certain look, you know? A vibe. I can't just post a picture of us. It's not on brand." I laughed because I thought she was joking. We'd been together for 2 years. I'd helped her move into this apartment. Drove 6 hours one weekend just to pick up her brand partnership samples when her car broke down. And now she was saying I wasn't photogenic enough to exist in her online world? But she wasn't joking. She looked up, perfectly calm, like she was explaining weather. "Ethan, be real. My followers expect luxury content. They want to see success, lifestyle, travel. They don't want normal." I sat there, heart pounding. "So I'm too normal for your Instagram?" She sighed. "You sell industrial software. You drive a Honda Civic. It's fine, it's respectable, but it's not aspirational. I post designer bags, fine dining, collaborations. You don't really fit that." The words hit harder than I expected. She didn't say it cruelly. That's what made it worse. It was just truth to her. "So you're saying I'm not good enough to be seen with you?" I said quietly. "Don't twist my words. It's not that you're not good enough. It's just, you're not on brand for me." There it was, the invisible wall I hadn't seen before. I wasn't her boyfriend. I was her off-screen secret. I remember standing up so slowly it felt like gravity fought me. "You know what? You're right." "About what?" "I'm not aesthetic enough for your brand. And you're not real enough for my life." Her mouth opened like she was about to protest, but I didn't give her the chance. I grabbed my jacket and walked out. No yelling, no begging, just silence, the kind that feels heavier than any scream. That night, I sat in my car outside my apartment complex, staring at the steering wheel until my phone buzzed. A text from her. "Are you seriously breaking up with me over something so trivial?" I typed back, "No. I'm breaking up with you because you finally told me the truth." Then I blocked her. But what she didn't know, what I didn't even know yet, was that moment would change everything. That one insult would flip a switch in me that never turned off. Because 6 months later, she'd regret every filtered photo she ever posted. And I'd be the one controlling the narrative this time. When I first met Addison, she wasn't Addison Reeve, influencer and brand ambassador. She was just a girl working part-time at a coffee shop near the tech park where I worked. She was 25, still trying to figure it out. I was 27, doing account management for a mid-tier software company, pulling in around $85,000 and thinking I was doing all right. She had this presence about her, that kind of confidence that felt magnetic. She talked about wanting to start a YouTube channel, maybe grow her Instagram. I thought it was cute, ambitious. When she said she wanted to quit the coffee job and go full-time content creation, I encouraged her. Bought her first camera. Built her little backdrop wall. I was there for all of it. The awkward first brand deal, the please like and share posts, the free product collaborations. First it was fun. We'd shoot photos together on weekends, laugh at how cringe her captions sounded. But slowly her world changed. She started getting invited to influencer brunches, girls with names like Sky and Hallie, who talked about engagement rates and algorithm boosts like they were war strategies. Suddenly, I wasn't part of her stories anymore. Not just online, in real life too. When I picked her up from events, she'd keep her phone angled away so the camera didn't catch me in the reflection. Once, she asked me to park down the street because the valet line would look bad for photos. It wasn't all bad, though. There were nights she'd crash on my couch after a brand shoot. Exhausted, makeup half gone, whispering that she missed when things were simple. I believed her every time, but it kept getting worse. The more followers she got, the more invisible I became. There was one night, her first real sponsorship dinner. Some new luxury candle brand hosted at a rooftop bar. She begged me to come for support. So I went. Thought maybe she was ready to include me in her new life. The moment we got there, she told me, "Just don't mention where you work. Okay? Say you're in tech consulting or something." That one line felt like a knife wrapped in sugar. I played along, smiled through it, let her introduce me as Ethan from tech. Later that night, I caught her taking selfies with some finance guy. She told him she was single for the brand, she said later, laughing it off. That was 6 months before the breakup. I should have ended it then. Should have seen the red flags waving in neon. But when you love someone, you find 100 reasons to excuse what you know is wrong. And Addison was very good at being almost sorry. The night before it all blew up, she came over with wine and said, "I'm finally getting noticed by real companies. Once I hit 100K followers, everything changes." She kissed me, smiled and said, "We just have to get through this stage. Okay? Then everything will make sense." I wanted to believe her, so I did. Until that Wednesday night, when she told me I wasn't aesthetic enough. That line didn't just end the relationship. It rewired me. I woke up the next morning and realized I'd spent years helping someone build a brand that didn't include me. And maybe it was time to build one for myself. The message came from an account named at Harper.Talks, a small lifestyle blogger who'd followed Addison since the early days. "Hey, you don't know me, but I thought you should see this before it gets worse." Attached were screenshots. Addison on a private group chat with her influencer circle, laughing about me. "He's sweet but painfully average. Not everything needs to be shared, right? He's like background noise. Honestly, dating him makes me look humble." That last one broke me in half. I stared at the messages for a long time. I spent 2 years loving her. 2 years encouraging her, feeding her ambition, defending her when people said influencer culture was fake. And the whole time, she'd been using me as a prop for relatability. Something to mention in passing when she wanted to seem real. I didn't reply to the girl who sent the screenshots. Just muttered thank you and threw my phone face down. But something in me switched that night. I didn't want to cry. I wanted to win. So, I turned that pain into fuel. I went to work like a man possessed. Volunteered for accounts nobody wanted, long sales cycles, impossible clients, the kind of projects that burn people out. While everyone else clocked out at 5, I was still in the office at 9, building proposals, learning systems, reading strategy decks. The hunger came from somewhere ugly, humiliation, anger, spite, but it worked. Within 4 months, I'd closed 2 of the biggest deals our division had ever landed. My commission check looked like a typo. By the 6th month, I got promoted to Senior Enterprise Strategist. Base salary, $130,000. My boss said I had CEO energy now. I laughed, but inside, it hit me. This was the first time in years someone had seen me as something more than normal. I upgraded my life too. Moved downtown, bought a used Mercedes, traded the hand-me-down wardrobe for tailored suits. Not to flex, but because every time I looked in the mirror, I wanted to see a version of myself that didn't need anyone's validation. And then one night it happened. Addison's best friend, the one with 200K followers, posted a story. It was a screenshot of my LinkedIn update. Promotion. Title. Company. Text overlaid in pastel font. So proud of this one. I almost laughed. We'd spoken twice. 10 minutes later, Addison viewed my story. 20 minutes later, she messaged me. "Hey, long time. Just saw your promotion, that's amazing. How've you been?" 6 months. Not a word. Now suddenly she cared. I typed back one word. Thanks. That should have been the end. But she couldn't help herself. Senior strategist. Wow, you must be killing it. We should grab dinner sometime. Catch up? That's when I knew what this was. Not nostalgia. Not guilt. Recalibration. Now that my life looked on brand. She wanted back in the frame. I took a screenshot of our old texts. The one where she told me I wasn't aspirational enough and sent it to her. 5 minutes of silence. Then, that's not fair. I was being honest about my career. You took it too personally. Telling someone they're not worth posting isn't honesty. I wrote back. It's cruelty with branding. Then I blocked her. I thought it would end there. But 2 days later, I got tagged in a post by her friend again. A photo of me at a networking event I never posed for. Caption: Manifesting success stories sparkles. Addison liked it, then commented, "Some people really do glow up after heartbreak." Hundreds of likes poured in. That was the first public mention of me. But what came next made me realize Addison wasn't done. Not even close. When my manager said, "Ethan, can you step into my office?" I thought it was about another deal. Then I saw HR sitting there, and the envelope, and the look on their faces. The subject line of the printed email was burned into my memory. Concerning employee conduct, harassment and defamation by Ethan Cole, the sender, Addison Reeve. The girl who once cried in my bed because she hated drama. The email was written like a press release, full of legal phrases she clearly didn't understand. Mr. Cole has been stalking me and sending threatening messages. He's shown up uninvited to locations I frequent. I am documenting this harassment for potential legal action. It went on like that for half a page. My boss slid it toward me and said, carefully, "Do you want to explain this?" I laughed. Actually laughed because the absurdity hit before the fear did. "I haven't spoken to her in months," I said. "She's the one who keeps reaching out." He raised an eyebrow. HR crossed her arms. So I pulled out my phone, showed them the entire message thread, the DMs, the blocked accounts, even the screenshots of her friends tagging me and commenting. "Here's where she messaged me first," I said. "Here's where I blocked her. Here's her showing up in the comments again." My boss stared at the phone for a long minute before saying, "Jesus Christ." HR took a deep breath. "We'll handle it." 2 days later, corporate counsel sent Addison an official letter. Clear, formal, and brutal. "Our internal review found no evidence to support your claims. Further contact with our employee or organization will constitute harassment." They copied me on the email. Addison didn't reply, but I could feel her seething through the silence. And I was right. 3 nights later, I got a call from an unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. "Ethan," she said, voice trembling. "Why are you doing this to me?" I almost laughed again. "Doing what? You're making me look crazy." "I'm not doing anything, Addison. You're doing that yourself. You think you can just walk away? After everything we had." I didn't respond. She took my silence as invitation. "I loved you. You know that, right? You just couldn't handle me being more successful." I hung up, blocked the number. Again. But that's when I realized the real game she was playing. This wasn't about getting me back. It was about control. I'd stopped being part of her narrative, and she couldn't stand it. And when she couldn't own me in real life, she decided to ruin me on paper. That night, I saved everything, the DMs, screenshots, timestamps, the email from HR, and sent it all to my personal drive. Something told me I'd need it later. I was right, because a week later, her influencer friend, the one who'd posted my photo, went public with a story. "Watching someone you love lose themselves to ego hurts. Some men can't handle a strong woman succeeding without them." The comments flooded in. Thousands of strangers calling me insecure, bitter, abusive. Then Addison posted her story. It was a photo of her crying. No makeup, captioned, "Healing. Some people will never understand what it's like to be betrayed twice. Once by love, once by lies." I wasn't mentioned by name. She didn't have to. People found me anyway. My DMs filled with strangers calling me garbage, sending threats, even tagging my company. Addison didn't just want me back. She wanted to break me publicly. But what she didn't realize was that I wasn't playing defense anymore. I was planning my next move. The DM came in at 2:43 a.m. Addison's best friend, Kira, the same girl who helped her humiliate me publicly, now messaging like she'd grown a conscience. "You don't deserve this. She's gone off the rails. And she's not being honest with her followers." I didn't respond right away. But when I finally did, all I wrote was, "What are you talking about?" A few minutes later, a voice memo came through. Kira's voice was shaky. "Addison's been lying. She told everyone you cheated on her. That's how she justified going public. She said you threatened her when she tried to end things. That's why she's posting all that vague victim crap. It's getting her tons of sympathy and brand deals. She's literally monetizing your breakup." I remember sitting up, staring at my phone like it was a live grenade. She'd fabricated everything. That whole "he harassed me" email? It wasn't just spite. It was strategy. She was weaponizing me for content. Kira kept talking. She's filming a docu-style series about healing from emotional abuse. She's been pitching it to a wellness company. Said they might sponsor it if she can prove engagement spikes when she posts breakup content. She's staging all of this, Ethan. The crying videos, the captions, everything. I didn't even know what to say. "Why are you telling me this?" I finally asked. Kira sighed. "Because she's going to burn you to the ground to sell her story. She's already planning another post, a big one, naming you this time. Says she's done hiding her truth." That word, truth, made my stomach turn. I thanked her, hung up, and sat there in the dark. I wasn't angry anymore. I was cold. Addison was about to ruin my name, my job, and my reputation for engagement metrics. So I did what I do best. I built a strategy. First, I called my lawyer, told him everything, forwarded every screenshot, every message, every audio file. He didn't even hesitate. "We're documenting all of this. If she posts one defamatory thing with your name attached, we'll hit her with a defamation and harassment suit before it hits 1,000 views." Then, I did something I hadn't done since the breakup. I opened Instagram. For 6 months, I'd stayed silent. No posts, no likes, no comments. Just existed quietly. But now, I posted a photo. Not of me. Not of a car or a watch or a glow-up. Just a plain black background with white text. Sometimes silence looks like weakness. It's not. It's just patience. Within an hour, it had over 1,200 likes. Dozens of coworkers, clients, and mutuals commented supportive stuff. They all knew what was happening. It didn't name her. Didn't have to. The next morning, Addison posted a story. "Funny how abusers love to play victim when you finally speak your truth." She thought that was a win. But she didn't know I'd already reported her upcoming docuseries pitch to the same wellness brand she was courting. Anonymously, with attached proof that her claims were fabricated. 2 days later, the brand quietly pulled out of the collaboration. And Addison? She lost her biggest sponsorship yet. It wasn't enough to destroy her. Not yet. But it made a crack in the armor. Meanwhile, Kira kept feeding me information. Screenshots, group chat messages, even voice notes of Addison venting about how she could turn any narrative into profit. I archived everything, every lie, every fake tear, because the truth wasn't just going to clear my name. It was going to end her brand. The voice memo started with dead air. Then Kira whispered, like someone might be listening, "Addison didn't just make up stories about you. She's been lying to everyone, the brands, her followers, even her accountant. She's been buying followers and faking sponsorships for over a year." My first thought was that Kira was exaggerating. But then she sent proof, spreadsheets, invoices, DMs. Addison had been creating fake brand campaigns. She'd edit screenshots to make it look like luxury companies had emailed her, then post collabs that never existed. She even sent herself PayPal payments from dummy accounts labeled brand deposit. It was all an illusion to keep her status. Kira continued. "She told me once that if she ever lost credibility, she'd burn everything down before letting people see the truth. She's desperate, Ethan. She's scared of being exposed." I sat there, heart hammering. "Why tell me this?" "Because she's about to blame you for it." "What do you mean?" "She's planning to post screenshots of her financials, doctored ones, and say you hacked her accounts and leaked them. She's framing you before anyone else can connect the dots." For a second, everything went still. It all made sense now. The harassment email, the crying stories, the abuse captions. It wasn't heartbreak. It was damage control. Addison wasn't just trying to ruin me. She was using me as a distraction from her own fraud. I thanked Kira, told her to stay out of it, and hung up. My hands were shaking. I opened the folder I'd been keeping, every message, every voice note, every screenshot, and realized what I had. Enough evidence to destroy Addison's career in one email. But I didn't want to be petty. I wanted to be precise. That night, I called my lawyer again, told him everything Kira revealed. He asked for proof. I sent it all. He was quiet for a while, then said, "If this is accurate, what she's doing isn't just unethical. It's illegal. You're not dealing with a breakup. You're dealing with fraud and defamation." We drafted a cease and desist update, this time with attached evidence that Addison was falsifying brand partnerships and faking payments. We didn't send it to her. We sent it to her sponsors. Not anonymously, officially. Within 48 hours, 2 major companies, a skincare brand and a jewelry line, pulled their collaborations. Both scrubbed her posts from their pages. Addison didn't post for 3 days. Not a story, not a caption, nothing. Then, out of nowhere, she uploaded a black and white photo of herself with the caption, "Sometimes people you trust betray you in ways you can't even describe. Be careful who you give your heart and your passwords to." The comments exploded. "Stay strong, Queen. Men always try to tear down successful women. Expose him." Exactly what she wanted. But then I saw something different. A single comment that stood out in the flood of sympathy. From at Harper.Talks, the same blogger who'd warned me months ago. "You sure you want to play that game, Addison? Because some of us know the truth." That comment got deleted within minutes. But not before hundreds of people saw it. And by the next day, whispers started spreading through the influencer community. Private DMs, subreddits, group chats. People were starting to ask questions. Addison could feel it, too, because the next morning, she showed up at my office building, disheveled, crying. Security called me down, and there she was in the lobby. The same girl who once said I wasn't aesthetic enough. "Ethan," she begged, voice cracking, "please, can we talk? You don't understand what's happening." But I did understand. I just didn't care anymore. She said it again as they pulled her toward the doors. "You don't even know why I did it, Ethan." Her voice cracked, not with fear, but something darker. It wasn't desperation. It was arrogance. I couldn't stop thinking about it all day. That night, Kira called again, crying. "She's spinning out," she said. "She told me everything." And that's when I finally learned the truth. The real reason Addison started her smear campaign. It wasn't about heartbreak. It wasn't about me moving on. It was about money. See, Addison had been taking brand retainers, 5-figure contracts, to promote companies that didn't exist. She'd built fake LLCs using random names, fake EIN numbers, and invoices. She'd bill herself from those accounts, then tell her accountant it was influencer income. The scam worked because she had just enough real deals to hide the fake ones. Her followers thought she was pulling in hundreds of thousands a year. In reality, she was laundering money she didn't have. Money she borrowed, money she faked, money she needed to keep the illusion alive. And when she slipped, when someone started asking questions about the fake skincare brand payments, she panicked. She needed a scapegoat. That's when she decided it would be me. Kira's voice was shaking. "She told me she was going to blame you for everything. Say you hacked her accounts, forged the emails, leaked private info. Said if people believed that, the brands would back off and feel sorry for her. That's why she emailed HR. That's why she accused me of harassment. That's why she posted those crying photos, to build the narrative before anyone discovered what she'd actually done." The abuse storyline was her insurance policy. It wasn't heartbreak. It was preemptive damage control. I hung up with Kira, sat there for a long time, and felt this cold numbness spread through me. She hadn't just betrayed me. She'd built an entire empire on manipulation and weaponized my silence to protect it. The next morning, my lawyer called. He'd received an anonymous tip, a PDF attachment with records of Addison's fake invoices and PayPal trails. Kira had sent it. It was everything. Proof of fraud, tax evasion, and defamation. "This is bigger than a lawsuit," my lawyer said. If we turn this in, she's done. Legally done. I thought about it. About the nights I'd sat outside her apartment with takeout, waiting for her to finish a photo shoot. About all the times I'd been told I wasn't enough. About being called a stalker by someone who was using me as a PR shield. For the first time in months, I didn't feel powerless. I felt calm. Do it, I said. He submitted the evidence, not to her sponsors this time, but to the IRS and the State Business Fraud Division. Quietly. No noise, no post, no drama. 2 weeks later, Addison disappeared from social media. Every account deactivated. Every post gone. The influencer friend who'd backed her started deleting old photos too. Rumors spread. Brand dispute. Legal issues. Mental health break. No one knew the truth. Except me. When that text came through, I just stared at it. You took everything from me. But someday you'll understand why I had to do it. No apology. No regret. Just a warning wrapped in self-pity. I didn't respond. I screenshotted it, forwarded it to my lawyer, and put my phone face down. By then, the fallout had already started. The brands she'd defrauded had opened internal investigations. The IRS flagged her accounts. The wellness company that once wanted to back her, Healing Docuseries, issued a public statement distancing themselves from a former collaborator engaged in fraudulent activity. Word spread fast in that world. Sponsors cut ties overnight. Her name went from whispered admiration to whispered caution. Nobody wanted to touch her, and I stayed silent. Not once did I post, brag, or gloat. I didn't need to. Her own lies did the work for me. But about a month later, I got a call from Kira again. She's moving, she said quietly. Selling everything. Said she's going to start over somewhere new. I didn't say much. Just good luck to her. Because by then, I'd already moved on too. Work was going better than ever. I'd been promoted again, director of enterprise sales. My team trusted me, my clients respected me, and I finally stopped waking up angry. Some nights, though, I'd think about how close I came to losing everything. My job, my reputation, my sanity. All because someone couldn't handle losing control of their story. Addison built a life on performance. When the performance cracked, she decided I'd make a perfect villain. And maybe that's what revenge really is, letting the truth play out while you stand still long enough for everyone else to see it. A few months after everything settled, I ran into Kira at a networking event. She looked relieved, lighter somehow. She's gone, she said. Deleted everything. No Instagram, no TikTok, nothing. Last I heard, she's waitressing in Austin under a different last name. I nodded. Hope she finds something real this time. Kira looked at me. You don't hate her? I thought about it. I did. But hate keeps you in their story. I'm done being part of hers. That night, I walked out into the cold Nashville air and realized I wasn't angry anymore. Just tired and free. The last thing I did weeks later was unblock her number. Not to talk. Just to look. The final message was still there. You took everything from me. And I realized, no. She took it from herself. I didn't destroy her life. I just stopped protecting the lie that held it together. That was the real revenge. Not the emails, not the legal letters, not the collapse of her career. It was walking away with my integrity intact while hers turned to dust. Now, when people ask how I got where I am, I just smile and say, someone once told me I wasn't enough. They usually laugh. They think it's a motivational quote. But it's not. It's a reminder. Because the day Addison said I wasn't aesthetic enough, she gave me the best gift anyone ever could. A reason to become the kind of man who never needs to be posted. And I became him. That's the ending. No filters. No edits. Just reality. Actual beats aesthetic. Every damn time.